Coming to you, week 8 now. It is week 8, right? It is week 8. We're starting to lose track at this point. Week 8, Jonesboro coming to town to Bill Blackwood Field, taking on the Silver Nails Bears. Coach J.J. Hoole with us here. And Coach, we'll just kind of briefly get last week. Tough one there to lose. It was a battle, though. You could really see a lot of good things there. A couple little mistakes here and there, but, I mean, really by and large, you had to be fairly pleased with the way your team played.
Yeah, defensively, our guys played great. I mean, they all night long, we put them in bad positions offensively. They gave us the ball twice on the 5-yard line, a block punt, and then stopping them. And offensively, we just didn't get the job done. And, but defense played great. I told our guys, I just told them out there, I said, defense, if you'll play like you did Friday night, you'll give us an opportunity to win a ball game. And, offensively, we had at times we had some really good plays. And, I look back and watch the film, and, there's no excuse if they're not putting blame anywhere, but we did have 4 touchdowns called back. And then there were a couple other ones where we dropped some open touchdowns.
Yep.
And, it's just got to execute, and you can't change calls when they happen. The big touchdown at the end of the game to take the lead.
Yeah.
You look back on film and, you look back on film and it's, don't agree with the call, but it's not my call to make. And we just got to keep coaching and come out and try to get the next play, and we didn't execute, and so that's how it ended up. But like I said, defensively, I was very pleased with how our guys played.
Yeah, and you had to think that defense. Looking at the numbers, they balled out, and really when you go back and look at it, from what I can recall, it was really about 3 plays that maybe West Memphis did get, and it kind of burned you a little bit on that one, and unfortunately, those 3 plays kind of all came on that last drive that they had. They had the 3rd down conversion, had the 4th down conversion, and then the one run that they had for any kind of yardage up the middle. Because I think by and large, you guys clogged the middle up pretty well all night, but the one run, and unfortunately, kind of went to the end zone. But is that kind of what you were seeing?
Yeah, no doubt. We had them, they're at the end. They didn't do much all game, and they're at the end. It's 3rd and long, and then it's 4th and long. And, man, we just give up a play both times. And we stop them on those plays, and we win the ball game. Yeah. Of course, defense should have never been put in that position in my eyes. Offensively, we should have done more. And like I said, I felt like we did some good things offensively. We broke several long runs. We did score when we got those plays on the 5, but penalties got them called back. And it's you're pleased with how they played. You're not pleased with the outcome.
Sure.
I thought we should have won the ball game, and I expected us to win the ball game. I felt our kids did as well, and the whole game I felt like we were going to win the ball game, and it just didn't turn out the way we thought it was going to.
And we're not going to harp on the penalties because we had plenty to say about the penalties, and I'm still looking for a holding call myself. But looking at the offense, like you said, you were able to move the ball, hit some chunk plays. One of those interceptions, a little fluky, popped the ball up. Those are always dangerous ones. But, on the other interceptions, what did you see? Was that just a matter of maybe your QB trying to do a little too much in the moment or a zig when he should have zagged kind of thing? What did you see on those?
Yeah, both interceptions. The tip ball, that should have never happened. We had a little bit of a bad snap. Yeah. So we had to go down and get it. He was supposed to catch the ball, throw it now. So we had to hold on to it a little longer. So it's just a little thing like that, and our guard kind of let some penetration through too. Right. But it's just little things like that if it's a good snap and our guard holds his ground, we get that ball off, we probably go in the end zone. And then the other ones, it's the same thing. We got a route. One of our guys is supposed to be running vertical to carry the corner off, and he stops. And the corner stops, and guess who picks the ball? The corner. And he brought his guy right in the area where we were trying to throw the ball. And, I think he was trying to force it a little bit there, but he was trying to force it into a single coverage, and it turned into a double coverage because the other guy on our team did not do the little thing that he's supposed to do by running his guy off. And, it's just little things like that that'll kill you. And, people, every coach in America, you talk to anybody, they talk about the little things. And it's so true, and we're a product of it this year, not doing the little things right. And especially in a game like that when you have a chance to win and you don't do the little things right and you get beat.
And is that something – and again, I know it's something you've harped on throughout the season, those little things, but are you starting to see less and less of those little things creep up on film? Are the light bulbs starting to go off, or is it just one of those things where it's, man, we keep doing those things, but it's just literally at the worst possible time?
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten a little better at it, especially with some of our younger guys. Yeah. Just they're getting the speed of the game more, and they're understanding how things operate out there. But when some of our older guys are still doing it, it's kind of frustrating because they've kind of been in there. So, and they are happening at the wrong times. We get the ball on the 5 down there, and we have a low snap, and it gets blown back into a tip ball, and they intercept it when that's on. We have 3 more downs to score from the 5. Yeah. And so, they're just coming at really, really bad times. So it's just, little things are so important, and people talk about it. And that's why, with our kids in the off season and practice and things like that, we always harp on the little things. And sometimes they get trouble for the little things. They get punished for the little things because that's why. They don't get it at the time. Sometimes adults don't even get it why we hold them. They're like, well, that's such a trivial little thing. You're right. It is a little thing, but it's a little thing that matters. If they cannot do the little things, then how do we expect them to do the little things or even the big things in a game? So, that's just something that we're going to stay on. I told them today, guys, I'm not going to, today I gave them, after one of our breaks, I gave them 30 seconds to be on the ball ready to go, and we weren't there. So we started doing up downs. And that's a little thing. Yeah. Be out there, be lined up, ready to go.
You burning timeouts possibly.
100%. So, it's just we're going to continue to hold our guys to those standards and try to get the little things right.
Big one coming up this week. Jonesboro coming to town. They're having a little bit of a down year. Normally, that's a big, beefy, and fast team. Heck of a coaching staff there. I mean, guys are loaded on that staff. Just the way they're loaded here with a lot of experience, but just things don't seem to be working out. Looking at film, what have you seen from them? Are they as big as what we've come to know, or are they in a little bit of a rebuild phase too, kind of like with us in West Memphis?
Yeah. No, them guys are big. I mean, they're big up front on both sides of the ball, especially offensive line. They got some really good receivers, good quarterback. They got some playmakers over there defensively. They're pretty good up front. Middle linebacker's really good. Yeah. We got to make sure we get a hat on him. He'll make plays. And, Jonesboro, they do have a great staff, great program, great history. But we, like I said, if we do little things right, we give ourselves a chance. And, they've won one game. And you watch them on film and you think, man, how these guys won one game. Right. So, they're a good one-loss team. You can't take them for granted, take them lightly. Yeah. So, they're going to beat some people going forward, and hopefully we're not one of them that we're going to come out Friday night and hopefully, give them another loss.
And just too, what have you noticed offensively that they do well? Obviously, having some big fellas, you'd have to think, hey, we're just going to try to pound the ball, especially when things aren't going right, just kind of slow the game down, which is kind of ironic to say when you just want to run, that it slows the game down. But is that kind of what you guys have noticed? They like to use that kind of the way Marion did?
Yeah, kind of. Actually, Jonesboro probably likes to throw it a little bit more. Oh. They got some good receivers out there. They like to take shots. They like to get big plays and big chunk plays and things like that. So, run game is not real complicated, but they do what they do and they do it well. But you got to be able to stop it. You know what's coming. You just got to be able to stop it. Right. And but they do like to throw the ball. They like to get it to their playmakers in space and things like that. So the quarterback, he can throw it. He can throw a country mile. He can get rid of it. And he can let it fly. We just got to be really sound in the secondary, and we got to get pressure on them up front.
And I guess from a defensive standpoint, what have you noticed out of them?
Yeah, defensive, like I said, middle linebacker is really good. Yeah. Up front, their guys are big. They move well. They count on those guys in the box to take plays. They like to keep a safety real deep in the middle of the field. He kind of hangs out back there. He's kind of their safety net. Yeah. But they feel like those 4 down linemen can control the box with that linebacker. And they've been doing a pretty good job of it. So if they can do that, why not have that guy back there, Yeah. When you can't control it, that's when you got to put more hats in the box. So, but they got good secondary. They fly around a little bit. Sometimes, you can do some things on film that may get them confused in the secondary a little bit. But they do a good job of disguising their coverages. Sure. You may think they're in this, and they jump to this at the last second. It looks the same, which is really good. Good kudos to them. We try to do the same thing, make it always look like man, whether it is or not. Yeah. Could be zone. And a lot of people say we're always playing man. We're not. Sometimes we're in zone. It just doesn't look like it. And that's how we want the reads to be. And they do a good job of that. They make your reads kind of, they muddle your reads a little bit. And so we're going to try to do things, though, to get in space and get people open and try to get the ball out quick on them.
Hopefully catch the ball this time.
No doubt.
And I guess finally here, kind of bouncing off last week, going into this week, I mean, tough loss, especially the way you go about losing. You had to think, man, we controlled that game in all aspects of the game. Even look at the numbers. Controlled that game, just didn't work out for you on the scoreboard. Considering everything, I mean, that had to be a pretty emotional one, considering everything. What do you tell your guys after a game like that? How do you get them ready? Because you had to think, like, a lot of guys might have been sitting on that one thinking that, hey, this game right here might have been the one. But how do you keep them from accepting that as a letdown? I was like, hey, we still got 3 more opportunities to get a W.
Yeah, I told them. We had some guys that were really upset Friday night. Sure, yeah. And I told them, I said, guys, if you're not upset, I'd worry about you. I'm upset. I said, but you've got to learn to handle it like young men and not like a 2-year-old. A lot of kids these days, they face adversity, things don't go their way, and for our guys, it's things haven't been going our way for a while, and so I get frustration, I get being upset, but you still got to handle it like a young man. Mm-hmm. And that's what I told our guys Friday night, and most of our guys did. Yeah. And I'm very proud of them for that. And, our guys know. I talked to them today. I tell them all the time, guys, no matter what happens, what we go through, whatever, it can be what I said, your coach is never going to give up. Your coach is going to keep fighting. You use analogies all the time. Getting beat up by 5 guys, I promise, I'm not going to stop. It's not going to happen. That's not me, and we need guys like that too. Because eventually, it's going to break through, and if we keep doing those little things and keep fighting, it's going to happen. And like I said, I think a lot of people built it up Friday night that it was going to happen. Yeah. And, so the kids got excited about it, and then we were there thinking it was going to happen in the moment. Yeah. And it didn't. So just that emotional roller coaster that a young man has to go through and things like that. Us as adults, we get fired up sometimes too, but, we're more apt to handle that than they are. Yeah. But that's what we're trying to equip them with those skills to, handle those emotions, because, it's going to be a lot worse things that happen in your life than losing football games. And, right now they don't seem like it. Yeah. And, but, our guys just got to handle it like young men. They got to keep working, because that's what a man would do. And, so that's what we hope our guys keep doing.
Rocking and rolling. Well, big one coming up here just the next few minutes here. Sylvan Hills hosting Jonesboro, the Golden Hurricane coming to town here. Coach Hill, we always appreciate the insight.
Thank you.
Let's go get him here.
Yes, sir. Go Bears.
Kickoff coming up. And we welcome you into Bill Blackwood Field here on the grounds of Sylvan Hills out in Sherwood, America. Jay Burr, Chris Goodman with you here on the Sylvan Hills Sports Network. The weather's a little odd tonight. It's kind of dark out here. Not that it's going to rain or anything, Chris, but, man, it looks ominous.
Yeah, it does look a little darker than usual out here. I don't know if it's some sort of, sun flare, something going on here, crazy. Looks like the camera may be having a little bit of haziness over it as well, so bear with us. We're going to try and get that figured out. But, yeah, man, it's a little weird looking.
It's the La Nina effect.
Yeah, right.
Sylvan Hills Bears hosting the Jonesboro Golden Hurricane tonight in a 6A East battle. Bears actually, now I know it's going to stun a lot of y'all, but still something to fight for. Rolling through the standings here, Benton, Marion, and Little Rock Catholic all sitting at 4-0 in conference, and then we've got a logjam at 1-3. El Dorado, Sheridan, West Memphis, and Jones Boogie all sitting at 1-3. Sylvan Hills 0-4 in conference play. So as tough a slide as it's been for the past year and a half for the Bears, at least for this season, mathematically still in it. Now, I don't want to say that get your hopes up or anything or start putting deposits on playoff tickets or anything, but it is still there, and especially with a couple of one-win teams, at least in conference play, coming up here, including Jonesboro tonight. There's still a little bit of hope out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of hope, and that's something that Coach Houle can go into his locker room and tell his players. That's something that the leaders of this team can remind their teammates every week, that we still got, the season, no, it has not gone the way we want it to, but we have a chance here to do something special and finish out this season. And I get told every week I'm glazing for saying this, but this is not a terrible football team, okay? They've had some things not go their way. They've had some really bad breaks. They've been a couple of wide open drops away from scoring some more touchdowns. And last week, a lot of touchdowns got called back, so there's a lot of things that one or two plays go differently. This team looks a lot different, and I still believe in them. I'll tell Coach Houle, I did pregame, that I believe he's doing a great job here. They're headed in the right direction. There are a couple of things like youth and penalties and stuff that they're battling, but a lot to play for here at the end, and I think the Bears can find a way to do it. Now, will they? It's up to them.
Well, yeah, and you got to wonder, and I know this is something that Coach Houle talked about earlier in the week, was how are his players going to respond this week? Obviously, everybody kind of had that West Memphis game circled as, okay, this is a really good chance to get a W. They're kind of in the same boat we are, tough season, youth movement, just kind of struggling. We went through the stats. Everything was pretty mirrored, and to kind of lose the way they did was gut-wrenching, and for guys, you hope to not see the season just snowball into oblivion at this point, and I think, that we're going to see it one way or the other pretty early on tonight.
Yeah, one word comes to mind, and that's resiliency. How resilient can you be? You go through last week, and you're right there at the end. You have a great pass from your quarterback, a good reception, flag thrown, doesn't count for the touchdown, and then you're not able to get back on the scoreboard. So how can you bounce back as a young team and come out here on your home field with a team coming, from Jonesboro? They're making quite the long drive. You get a home field advantage game against a team who is beatable. The rest of these games, the rest of the season, are teams that you can beat. You just got to play, you got to execute. That's the word we continuously said. Yeah. You got to execute. The Bears just got to find a way to do it.
Well, they're going to have a tough task ahead of them here. Don't let that 1-6 fool you with this Jonesboro team. This is a team that can put up some points, and they have on the season, which is something you really can't say about Sylvan Hills right now. But just rolling through very quickly the Jonesboro schedule on the season. First game against Conway, they got doubled up 42-21. Lost next week to Robinson. And then they actually traveled down to DeSoto Central in Mississippi, losing that one 27-12. That ended in non-conference play. And then put up a tough fight against Benton, 48-35. Got a W against Sheridan, 49-28. And then the last 2 weeks, barely losing to Little Rock Catholic, 26-21. And then Marion, 51-30. So, again, just one of those things where they're giving up a lot of points, but they also score a lot of points. And, honestly, both of those things not really working in Sylvan Hills' favor, but it's a new week, new game.
Yeah, and Jonesboro could be one of those teams that like Sylvan Hills, has just had some things not go their way, one or two plays away from being 6-1 versus 1-6. You see it a lot in college football, the NFL, and this is a dangerous game because, like we were kind of talking pregame, Jonesboro is kind of coming into their rhythm and finding things out. So is Sylvan Hills, but if Sylvan Hills isn't careful, Jonesboro can take advantage of some things and score some points tonight.
Big shout-out to one of our big fans here, Jawan Smith. We see you there, dog. Always glad to have our number one fan with us. Anybody who's jumping in there, get in the chat. Let us know what you're seeing. Let us know what you're thinking. We'll get to some of the comments as we go throughout the night. Coin toss going on right now. So we'll get you set here for gameplay. Just about 3.5 minutes until the clocks hit 0. But this one's going to be one of those games where I think you're going to see a lot of character, or, are they going to lay down and fight, or, just kind of roll over, play dead for the rest of the season. I think you're going to kind of see that pretty early on. I know this team dealing with a lot of injuries. We get the roster for this game, and it's pretty scratched up this week, dealing with a lot of things here. Jeremiah Carey and Colin Billings, the big players that are out, newer big players that are out this week. As you see, Jonesboro has won the toss. They will defer, Sylvan Hills has won the toss. They will defer to the second half, so they will be kicking off to Jonesboro, going left to right on your screen, and we are just about 3 minutes away from kickoff. But back to that point I was trying to make, I think we're going to see early on what's the makeup of this team mentally. Are they going to be out here in a dogfight? Maybe just some things don't go their way. Maybe they can get some, create your own luck. Or, are we getting ready for basketball season?
Yeah, I mean, that's it right there. And only these guys can tell. Only the players, Hampton and the other guys, only they can determine how this season ends. If they come out here and they're like, all right, guys, it's whatever. A lot of these guys can look forward to next season because they're younger players. It's up to them. I'd like to see the team come out and show some fight. I'd like to this same team that battled last week, that battled against Russellville, I want to see that team come out here and play tonight on your home field. And, if things don't go their way, there's still some winnable ball games, but it's just how resilient can you be and how much fight do you have left in the tank?
Chat always on point. We see you out there, chat. Hit us with some realness, and we'll get you the shout-out on the broadcast tonight. Juwan, though, he's been a real one since day one, so we always appreciate his commentary. That is for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I guess I'm just going to have to change my name to the Donut because I'm always glazing.
The Glazer,
man.
Some Jay Glazer over there.
I've seen a lot of football, and I can tell when you're just a bad team or when you're a young team. There's a difference. Okay, there's a difference. I know it's hard to believe if you haven't seen a lot of football, but there's a difference in a bad team and a young team. This is just a young team that's still trying to figure it out, and I like what I've seen so far.
So there you have it. Get at us, keep it 100. And we got you in here. We'll try to interact with the chat here. But I don't know if we're going to bring you in the booth yet, Juwan. So let's not get carried away, my guy. Let's not get carried away just yet. But we'll save that for the Point 2 channel.
Right.
We'll put it on Point 2. Just about a minute left. Jonesboro's taking the field. Now Sylvan Hills looking to run out the tunnel here. Get ready for the fireworks show. That is one thing they do pretty consistently well, is they put on a show. The homie Joey Peewit's out there, always got the fireworks in tow, gets it ready, gets it going. Bears taking the field to the sights and the sounds. And we are about ready for football tonight. A raucous crowd on hand with Jonesboro bringing just a few folks from way up there in the city of churches.
Yeah, I wonder if with Sylvan Hills wearing the gray jerseys and Jonesboro being in white, I hope that doesn't result in anything, penalty-wise.
You got to try something. If you're, just kind of in a slump and you want to go with the Grays, hey, let's go with the Grays. I would think it differentiates enough.
Yeah.
But that's just me up here on a microphone not knowing anything.
I know one thing. It's going to be really hard to see the numbers.
A little tough to see the numbers, but, again, I've got my glasses on. Now I'm kind of losing a little bit of the blue light filter on them.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing we didn't have fireworks here, but as many of you know, we are in the midst of a burn ban. And a pretty severe one, too. We need some rain around here, but we're hoping Sylvan Hills can at least rain down some points tonight. So, one bag deep for the Golden Hurricane. That is one Golden Hurricane. They are not the Hurricanes. And that is number 10, T.J. Brown. We'll see what kind of kickoff strategy that the Bears try to employ this evening. I know they've tried to squeeze it into those little holes. Quite a big gap out there around the 35, 40-yard line tonight. So we'll see what they try to do. Tristan Trejo trying to pop it into that little pocket, and he gets a little bit of a roll. Ball is loose, but I do think Jonesboro falls on it. So the fortunate bounce for the Golden Hurricane, they will start at their own 29-yard line.
Man, we're just one or two bounces away from having some of those come back to us. I think last week we recovered one. You can kind of take the Coach Kelly playbook there, and if you can steal some possessions, it's really good.
Well, and hey, on that too, you also limit the return. So always some interesting strategy to employ. 3 to the right, 1 to the left, looking like it's man-to-man coverage. Golden Hurricane hand the ball off. And that was Brown once again. Tacklers were led by number 24, Malachi Summons. So I will be interested, though, to see how this offense is going to look tonight with the absence of Billings and Carey. I know it's been kind of tough season over there on the offensive side of the ball, especially with all the injuries that they've had.
Yeah, well, it's just that next man up mentality.
Quick throw into the flats. C.J. Williams on the reception, met immediately by the Bears. That's Josiah Rainey. Good to see him back in action.
Yep.
So as we were talking about guys being out tonight, Bears get one of their guys back, the speedster. And, heck, at this point, throw that guy back there at running back, one of the fastest dudes in the state, and that is on wax. That is not an opinion. A little quick reverse to Williams. Bears looking like they tracked it pretty well. Looks like they're going to spot him just short of first down yardage, as that was a gain of about 8 on the play. We'll bring up 3rd and 1 at the 48.
There's a chance for the defense to make a big statement early in this game.
Would be nice. And looks like they go QB sneak. And that's a QB sneak that picked up quite a few yards, about 6-yard QB sneak. Don't see that too often.
Yeah, that's not a good sign for your defensive line if they're QB sneaking for about 6-7 yards.
Well, I know Coach Houle did mention that the Golden Hurricane do have size in the trenches, and I know that's kind of been the Achilles heel, well, one of the many Achilles heels, I should say, for the Bears this season. Jonesboro sticking with the ground game. 4 yards there by Brown. And I would imagine we're going to get a heavy dose of Brown and Williams this evening.
Yeah, I think after that, I think it was Marion or Benton game, that the teams probably just saw that they can really run the ball on us.
Yeah, heck, both. And breaks a few tackles, just gets out of the reach, and just like that, T.J. Brown into the end zone. Touchdown, Golden Hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, we brought it up. You know, the run game is against the Bears' defense has usually worked. That just comes down to a lack of a little bit of size and a little bit of youth. You know, you can't.
Now, I will say they have been a lot better against runs, maybe between the guards.
Yes.
I know a lot of their Achilles heel has been getting to the outside, but even last week against West Memphis, I mean, they bottled up the innards of the West Memphis running attack all night until that one run that they got all night for any kind of yardage,
yep.
And it went for a touchdown.
Yeah, well,
go figure.
When you play a team that can run the ball really well, your linebackers have to be able to scrape and fill the holes really well. And last week they did do that. We called, Jablo and the other guys, we called their names a lot that game. In this game, it may come back down to them where they have a 10-plus game tackle game. And that's just what you got to have when your D-line is getting double-teamed. Sometimes your linebackers got to be able to go in there and make tackles. We'll see how that plays out the rest of the game.
Yeah, we'll see how what the offense can do tonight. It has been a struggle for them this year. I know a lot of that has been originated up front, just with the lack of ability to be able to hold blocks for any kind of time to allow for Tyler Hampton to get loose or anything. High kick, little confusion. Ball is on the ground, and the ball is loose, and Jonesboro signaling that they have it, and they do. Oh, boy. And just like that, J.R. Smith for the Golden Hurricane come up with that ball, and a little lack of communication there on who's got it. Now, we've seen that a couple of times this year. Out of those two, where I got it, you take it, seems to be the issue. But just like that, Jonesboro right there in prime position just outside the Boyd Law Firm red zone. They will get the ball once again, 1st and 10 from the Bears' 20. And it looks like that's a QB keeper. Pierre Grimes, not fooled by it, as he brings down Asa Myers. So gain of 1. That's a generous one. And I'll bring up, now they mark it no gain, so give my man his due. No gain, 2nd and 10. Again, ball just outside the red zone, so Bears defense, if there's ever a need for them to buckle down, this would be one of those occasions. Quick snap, Myers drops back. He's got all day to pass, and he finds a man wide open. And just like that, Cam Davis walks right in for the score. And we are barely 3 minutes into this game. Jonesboro up 13-0.
Yeah, like we said pregame, this is one of those games where you got to control what you can control, execute, and not have stuff go against you like it already has. Bears got to find a way to come back quickly in this one.
Yeah, it helps when you have the ball, as the Bears do not have a possession yet and have already given up 2 touchdowns. So, kick is down, up, and through. And again, just like that, it is 14-0, Golden Hurricane. So this is where you got to have any kind of response.
Yeah, and you come out on this kickoff right here, guys got to know if you got to take more than 1 or 2 steps back and you're not the back return guy, let it go. You know, unless you're one of these guys up here where it may land real short, let the ball go to the guys that are supposed to catch it. Or if you are going to catch it, make it prominently known that you are going to catch the football. You can't last second let it go.
Stay tough with us, chat. We're going to get through this. So back deep for the Bears, Joseph Thompson and Josiah Rainey. So you got a couple of guys with some speed. If I'm Jonesboro, I'd probably kick it in that same spot, maybe cause a little confusion. And they do just that, except go to the other side. Ball is inbounds. Rainey barely gets to it. And Jonesboro signaling that they have the ball again, but I do think that Rainey was already down, and that is the case. And the Bears will get their first possession, down 14-0.
Yeah, it's very again, Jonesboro is doing what Sylvan Hills has been trying to do, kick it in some of these holes and make the return guys question, do I get it, do you get it? And then they have the speed to run down there and recover it like we saw that last kickoff. This time the Bears get lucky and hold on to it.
Well, at the rate we're going, we'll be lucky to see another kickoff for the Bears tonight. But as it stands, Bears will get their first offensive possession, 1st and 10 from their own 22. A little razzle-dazzle out the gate. And that was number 1, Joseph Thompson, tackled by a host of the Golden Hurricane. Solid yardage on that first one. I'll be interested to see any kind of adjustments that could get made. Because, I mean, really at this point, just throw it at the wall, see if it sticks. Late subs in for the Bears. Looking like they're going to go 2 receivers to either side. Oh, the old double reverse, and there's a little bit of room. Tyler Hampton throwing a sort of block, and Thompson almost found some daylight.
Yeah, you like to see your quarterback get out there and block a little bit.
I don't know if I'd call it a block as more getting in the way,
yeah,
but you slow the guy down. Yeah,
set the screen. That's all you got to do.
That's right. Make sure your feet are planted. Set the pick. Decent yardage, though. First down yardage. Bears up to the 40-yard line. Hampton rolling out. And he just has to get rid of that one. Takes a shot nonetheless. You'd like to see him get rid of that ball just a hair sooner to avoid the hit. Or if you kind of time it up right, you get rid of it in enough time and you get hit and you get a penalty for it. A little gamesmanship there. Jabari Prince on the pressure. But it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 now for the Bears. Looking like 3 to the left, 1 to the right. And we've got an injured Golden Hurricane. Not sure who that was. Looked like he went down late. So, not sure what may the issue have been there. What the issue may have been. Spit it out, my guy.
Yeah, it looks like he may have been cramping, and then
it's kind of what I'm thinking.
Eventually,
it is a warmer end of the October month than maybe kind of what we were all expecting.
I'm about tired of this hot weather.
Hey, look, this reminds me of my old South Florida days. I'm about this, but really, being up where you actually have a winter, just pick one or the other at this point. If you want to be warm, that's fine. I'm good with that. I am personally fine with that. Not a big fan of the cold myself, but if you're going to get cold, let's just go ahead and get cold. And that is Jabari Prince for the Golden Hurricane. Needs a little bit of assistance walking off, but we'll see if we'll get him back into the game tonight. I'm with you. Looks like it may have been a cramp. He does have a water bottle in his other hand, so we're hoping that's all it is for Prince there. Quick throw for the Bears. Falls incomplete. That pass was intended for Tyler Blakely. Looked like that was quick by design. Looked like Hampton maybe just got ahead of himself a little bit there.
Yeah, and he had, on that left side, he had somebody right there in his face where he was trying to throw it to, so he may have let it go a little bit faster than he wanted to.
3rd and 10 for the Bears. Here they come. And he finds a little space. Hampton just got to take it himself. He's got some room to run. Not sure what Blakely was doing there. Kind of blocked his defender right into Hampton, but nonetheless, big-time rush for Tyler Hampton, about almost 20 yards on that play. So that 3rd down, another one of these things for the Bears that they just haven't been able to execute on this year, and that was a 3rd and long, and I know darn good and well they haven't executed 3rd and longs most of the year, but you like to see it there. You keep the drive going, and I always say the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, and good on Hampton to make a quick decision there just to run for it.
Yes, finally. Brian Buchanan on the end around. Ball is down. I do believe the Bears came up with it. The Bears do come up with it. Looked like it might be a minimal gain, if any, for the Bears as the crisis is averted.
Yeah, it looks like he just lost it while he was running with it. Nobody hit him yet.
Hate it when you get that own forced fumble.
And that's like being tackled by the turf.
Oh, man, that one hurts. That one stings. 2 receivers out wide. Not sure if that was the actual play call there, but Tyler Hampton did look like he was trying to maybe sell a handoff. But he keeps it himself, gets a couple yards out of the affair. Say about 3. That'll bring up 3rd and 6. So you got to think, too, this is going to be 4-down territory for the Bears because why not at this point? Bunch to the right. There's a lot of fellas, and, oh, man, it looked like somebody had a bead on it. And Sam King broke the huddle with the Bears on that play. As he tracks that one down from behind, maybe the Bears get a yard out of it. So 4th down here, Bears down to the 37-yard line of Jonesboro. We'll see what they've got cooking up here. If I'm Jonesboro, I'm bringing the house, and it does look like that safety is creeping up just a little bit. Now they back off. Sylvan Hills resets. Pressure's coming from the Golden Hurricane, and, oh, man, that throw didn't stand a chance. Not sure where Hampton was going with that ball. Kobe Brent was in the area, but that's a loose term. Nonetheless, it falls incomplete, and the Bears will turn it over on downs, and Jonesboro will start their next drive at their own 37-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like there was some more pressure coming off that left side, and he just kind of took the snap and let it fly. I don't even know if he looked for the receiver.
Brent did look like he had some space, and if he hits him, I mean, he's going to be real close to a first down.
Yeah.
Fortunate tackle for the Bears. That did look like Brown almost busted through that hole. Fortunately for the Bears, it's about a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5. Pierre Grimes leading the way. Oh, right in the seam. And he is gone. No resistance at all there. Kellen Smith. And that is a 58-yard touchdown reception. And that seam route has been one of the many Achilles heels for this Bears defense on the air.
Yeah, they just kind of outran the defenders there. Outran the defenders there and scored a touchdown. Good throw by Asa Myers. I know he can sling it a little bit.
Yeah, he can sling it.
So,
and we do see Jabari Prince walking around on his own power there on the sideline. So, just a little injury update for you there. He does seem to be A-OK. Still walking a little gingerly, but he is walking around on his own. All right, so a little over 6 minutes gone in this one. Jonesboro is up 3 scores already. So, like we said in the beginning of this game, what was the prevailing attitude and vibe going to be? Vibe's not good out here in Sherwood. We're just going to keep it 100 here with y'all. Not even sure what to offer up at this point, because it is tough scene.
Well, here you just gotta just catch the kickoff cleanly.
One thing at a time here. That's right.
I mean,
next play up.
Twice on kickoffs, the ball has hit the ground. That doesn't need to happen anymore.
And Jonesboro has recovered one, been close to recovering another one, so it'd be all right if maybe you leave the dramatics on the sideline. Kick is away, going up the middle now. Clean catch for the Bears. And wouldn't you have it, Bears with some excellent field position to start this one. That was E.J. Duckery on the reception. Bears get out to the 45-yard line. So, again, some pretty good field position there. We'll see what the Bears' offense can do.
Yeah, we've seen them start with great field position a lot of times this season, just haven't been able to take advantage. In a game like this, especially right now, you got to right here. You got to get points.
Got to come away with something. Bears bunched up, man in motion, high snap, corralled. And unfortunately for the Bears, Cabrian Buchanan just can't quite keep his feet. If he got through that first level, he would have had a little room. Minimal gain, if any, on the play. We're going to call it no gain. That brings up 2nd and 10. Hampton fakes the handoff. He's got some room. We'll see what he chooses to do. He gets out of bounds. One of the Jonesboro players wipes out on the sideline, and I do think that is a flag. Well, maybe not. No flag. All right, my mistake there. Gain of about 8 yards on the play, so Hampton does seem to be more decisive on the run, which we've been calling for that all season. Looks like tonight's the night. Hampton readjusting his offense. the old fake reverse, and not quite. Well, he's going to be close. Looks like they're going to spot him just shy of the first down. About a yard short, actually. So if you're the Bears in this situation, I mean, you're dealing with a lot of size on that Jonesboro defensive front. You have to imagine that they're going to bring a little pressure because it seems to work. You know, what do you try here? What do you try here?
I mean, that's a tough ask that Sylvan Hills has pretty much tried everything they can.
I formation now, under center, so how about that a little different? Not sure where they're going to spot that at. Oh, it looks like they're going to give him the first down. Give him the first down. All right.
Yeah, it was
just
close.
Barely, but,
yeah,
you know, we'll take it.
Well, and on that play, too, I mean, it's never good when you have a defender meeting you at the point of handoff.
Well, luckily he got him around the shoulder pads, which is not the most ideal place to tackle, but it works. And, oh, my gosh, Jablinowski laying the wood on his 22 counterpart. That's Sam King. Woo! That's one of those classic unstoppable force meets the immovable object scenario right there. Sonic booms away. 4-yard gain for Jablo. And this is the first time we've seen him on the offensive side of the ball. I formation once again for the Bears, so they're trying something a little new. The fullback met immediately, but Jonesboro tackles him forward. That was Zayden Woodard, who we're used to calling out in the defensive end in that hybrid position. Give that man the ball.
Yeah, a couple of injuries. They're bringing over some defensive players, and that's what you got to do. Some of your better players, you got to get them in the game.
Yeah, heck, just start raffling off positions for the students. Jeez, at this point. 3rd and about 5 for the Bears. They look to the sideline. 3 receivers to the right of Hampton, 1 to the left. He's also got a man in the backfield. We'll see what they got. And can't tell if that was kind of a QB draw or if, once again, he just ran out of time there.
Yeah, I think he's running out of time super quick.
Well, not that he has any time to begin with.
Yeah, and we're lucky to have kept that football. It looked like they almost got the strip sack there.
Did look a little loose there. So 4th and 8, Bears going for it. And Jonesboro showing pressure from the right side. They back off. Sylvan Hills looking to the sidelines for the call, and they will have to burn a timeout. So Bears take their first timeout of the half as they've got a 4th and 8 cooking here as they are on the Jonesboro side of the field. They are at the 43-yard line. Chat, let me know something good here. What are you thinking here?
Yeah.
But hey, basketball season might be promising.
Yeah.
They look like they can shoot.
Yeah.
Now, they're not big, which appears to be, kind of the overarching theme here out in Sherwood.
Yeah. No, I was talking to Pat pregame. They got some guys, kind of like the football team. They had some younger players last year. They got a freshman. Well, he's a sophomore now. JJ Wise, I think he's going to be a great player. But
kid's got some skills.
But they should be awesome and yeah, from UAPB and a couple other schools. But they should be very good, and I'm excited.
Interesting to see a sophomore with offers. Didn't even think you could do that at this point, but why not? I guess. All right, Bears going quad receivers, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Let's see what happens here. Jonesboro bringing some pressure. Hampton eludes some pressure. Oh, my goodness. And the dropped passes rear their heads once again, as I believe that was Tyler Blakely. In his hands, then out of his hands. Then he looked to have corralled it again, and then, unfortunately, the ball goes to the turf. So the Bears will turn it over on downs once again. And we'll see if the defense can offer up any kind of resistance this drive.
There's a couple of throws this year where Hampton's got to go to his guys and be like, come on, man. Like, I need it. It takes everybody. I need y'all's help.
Yeah. Myers finds a man, and not quite there for Nigel Bell, as he also has a case of the dropsies. 2nd and 10 now for the Golden Hurricane. And they broke the plane. I'm thinking that's probably going to be offsides on the Bears. That was Jaden Noble jumping across, getting a little antsy. Second and 5 now for the Golden Hurricane. They've got stacked receivers to both sides, so we'll see what they've got cooking. Honestly, if you're Jonesboro, probably wouldn't flash too much at this point. And Myers under pressure. He's going to tuck it and go, and looks like he gets about 7 yards just past the sticks as Kai Griffin forced him out of bounds from the safety position.
Yeah, if you're Summons there and he knows it, you got to make that tackle.
Or at least slow him down enough to where the reinforcements can come in. Myers handing off to Brown. And Brown, I have no idea how he got through that wall of humanity, and he just walks into the end zone. A couple of Bears slow to get up. That's Pierre Grimes. Not sure who else is down over there, and it was hard to tell what happened in there, but just from the look of things, looks like 2 Bears got the better of themselves instead of getting the better of Brown. That was Zayden Woodard, the other Bear that's down. He walked off on his own power. Both guys actually walking off. Pierre Grimes limping just a little bit, but he is walking under his own power off the field as we get set for the extra point. And Marco Cisneros, perfect on the night, 4 for 4. So, buck and a half left here in the first quarter. Bears down 28-0. So I think we've figured out which Bears team is showing up tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it pregame. You know, we said which team was going to come out tonight, and I thought, just driving over to the stadium, I was like, something about today, I had a good feeling, and now we see what's happened.
Now, here we are.
The cookie has crumbled.
Not sure what the flavors are this week over there at Crumble. Shout out Crumble, free ad there.
I got to go by there and try some of them.
First one's free. Yeah, they're fantastic, actually. I mean, of course, it depends on the flavors. I mean, they kind of got the fall collection thing going. Jonesboro going deep this time. That's Joseph Thompson catching it on the run. Sure wish the wide receivers could catch it like that in stride, but nonetheless, Thompson, great return. Gets it out to about the 32, maybe the 33-yard line. Oh, maybe. No, they're going to spot him even further than that. Well, we'll see where they ultimately put the ball because my guy here on the sideline is just kind of wandering about. And it does look at their 32. So there you go. So the Bears, so far offensively tonight, except for the first drive, seem to put together a couple of plays and then they just kind of fall apart. Hampton on the run. He's calling his own number. Gets about 7 yards on the carry. Yeah, they'll give him 6. 2nd and 4. Bears looking to go trips right. 1 receiver to the left. Empty backfield. So 2 receivers to the left, excuse me. They snuck one out there on me. Hampton barking orders. Jonesboro bringing the pressure up the middle. Hampton, he eludes that pressure. He's got some room. Gets it across the midfield point, and he will get down to the Jonesboro 48-yard line. So Hampton putting this team on his back right now. Once again, going empty backfield. Bears readjusting just slightly. Oh, man, that's some improv. Because why not? Hampton bobbled the snap. Looked like he was going to try to run. Almost got sacked. And finds Ryan Parham out in the flats, just desperately trying to get his attention. Picks up about 8 yards on that one. So, hey, let's just make up plays more often. They seem to be kind of working. Empty backfield once again for the Bears. So we've seen a little bit of everything from the Bears this half. We've seen some I formation. We've seen their, offset shotgun formation. Great throw. Good catch by Lacoby Brent. And, we've seen some empty backfield. So Bears deep in their bag offensively so far tonight. Big-time gain there by Lacoby Brent. That was actually a great throw. Just floats it right over a defender. And good throw, good catch. There's that offset shotgun. Not sure what the horn there was, if you heard us there in the background. Not sure who let the tugboat into Bill Blackwood Field, but there it was, and that is the end of the first quarter, which you kind of hate to see because the Bears seem to have a little mojo going there. But as it stands, it is 28-0. Jonesboro with the commanding lead right now. As we get you set here for the second quarter of action. Now again, not to be that guy, but if we get to that point of mercy rules, that will not take effect until the second half. So we will have to power through the first half as best we can. But if the Bears can put up some points on this drive, which right now they seem to have something cooking.
Yeah, I think they had a couple of good plays there. Unluckily, the time ran out there for the end of the quarter. But that's what it takes sometimes. Just a couple of good, positive plays. I like the decision by Hampton right there when he was, mid-sack, getting it out and
at least throwing it to a guy wide open for a change.
Yeah, and you got to get something here. You have to. I know it's blatantly obvious, but you got to get some points here.
All right, so Bears at the 26-yard line, fresh set of downs to start the second quarter here. They bunch things up on the left side. Hampton running. Oh, Hampton not running. That was E.J. Duckery. Was brought down by Sam King. So loss of about 4 on that play. And this has been the thing that we've seen short-circuit Bear drives. Even minute losses tend to get them out of sync. We'll see if they can get back in sync. Yeah, it's very similar to Justin Timberlake from producer Pat there. Oh, and in and out of the hands of Ryan Parham. Those are ones you just got to come down with. Hit you in the hands. Yeah, you got to have those. I know you had a defender bearing down on you, but just got to absorb that contact.
Yeah, and I hate that this drive so far looks like it's going to stall. They had a good thing going here.
They did. I know the quarter change actually kind of went against, and what a throw by Hampton. And for some reason,
The receiver just kind of quit running. That was Ryan Parham. Not sure why he didn't just tuck and go. Tried to get a little fancy-footed. Didn't even make it back to the original line of scrimmage. He had it there, and if he could maybe even cut to the outside, had a little more room. But as it stands, a 2-yard gain. And not to sell anything short on that play, despite the minimal gain, but, man, that was a great throw. Three on the short side of the field for the Bears. Tyler Hampton just chunking it. He's got a man. He drops it in there. Touchdown, Bears. Lacoby Brent, give me all 6 of these.
Yeah, when Hampton has time, he's shown he can make some pretty good throws. There, Lacoby Brent makes up for last week's drop touchdown, catches one there.
How about it there? All right. So Bears on the board with just about a minute and a half gone here in the second quarter. Tristan Trejo out for the extra point. And it is down through, and it is true. So with 10.5 left in the first half, Bears finally on the board. Still got a long way to go, though, as they are down 28-7, and this defense has to do something. They've not really offered up any kind of resistance to this Golden Hurricane team in the first 4 drives. In fact, Jonesboro 4 for 4 on the night so far. So, what? Sheesh. I don't even know what to say at this point about the defense. I mean, obviously the tackling has got to improve. They seem to be hitting high or just arm tackling. And, it's been tough for the defense tonight. I know they're dealing with some size up front, and that is just not something that they've contended with very well. We've seen it against Marion. They were able to use their size to their advantage. Same thing with Benton. I mean, just kind of had their way with the Bears' defensive front. And really, those linebackers got to get involved.
Yeah, well, you know what? A touchdown there, it gives the defense a little confidence. The offense can say, okay, just give us a stop. We can come out here and put some points up. Just,
got to stop them from getting points.
Right. Help us, help you, help us.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we'll see what the Bears will try here on the kickoff. Last time it was kind of close, but it does look like Jonesboro has tightened it up in the middle just a little bit, almost baiting the Bears into that kick. Oh, on the ground, and what a snag. I believe that's Will Marlin.
Marlin there channeling his inner shortstop. Comes up with the dig there.
Looked like it was all hands, too. My man. So hat tip to Marlin.
Yeah, that saves Jonesboro a lot of field position.
About 20 yards, yeah, absolutely.
They're going to set up shop with some real yardage here.
About their own 47. We'll see if the Bears can do something here on the defensive side. Myers, rear back, chucks it. Oh! And it looks like the defenders got tangled up just enough to slow down Keelan Smith, who almost had his second of the night. And, if you're Jonesboro, I like the call there. Just right after a touchdown, just go for the home run.
Yeah, and they've shown they can hit some pretty big pass plays here, so defense got to be wary of that and watch for it.
So 24 on the carry, met by a host of Bears. DeMarcus Thomas loses about 4 yards, so I do believe, actually, that this is Jonesboro's first third down of the night, and we are roughly 10 minutes left in the first half.
No, they had one earlier, and they did the QB sneak.
Yeah, that's right, for 6 yards. Okay, I stand corrected. Feels like it's been forever. But third and long, man in motion. Myers drops back. He's under a little duress. Great screen. Oh, and he wiggles out of the tackle. And I don't know if he's going to have enough. Oh, Gay. Touchdown saving tackle by Kai Griffin. But, oh, man, the Bears had him dead to rights about midfield, but he spun out of it.
Yeah, great move there. I thought he could have been out of bounds.
A lot sooner, yeah.
It looks like they may have marked him out of bounds where I thought he was.
About the, what is that, the 21?
Yeah.
So just outside the Boyd Law Firm red zone. The quick handoff. And that is DeMarcus Thomas once more. Jablo voicing some concerns to the White Hat. Not sure what they could be. I haven't seen anything. Amazingly enough, not one penalty. Well, I take it back. There was an offsides call. So we've only had one offsides in this game so far. Thomas up the middle once again. Met initially by, I believe that was Zane Woodard and also Malachi Sherwin. Third and short for the Golden Hurricane here. Big play here for the Bears defense. If they can hold Jonesboro to maybe some negative yards, would be ideal. Thomas right up the middle, though, and he falls forward for first down yardage. Just outside the 5-yard line. So first and goal now for Jonesboro. And Thomas once more up the middle. Met, though, initially by Jaden Noble, and then they have a defensive meeting at the running back. Loss of 2 on the play. We'll bring up second and goal at the 7.
Yeah, a couple of guys did a really good job there getting off the blocks. Jonesboro's kind of had their way in the trenches so far this game. Let's see if we can get a stop here on the goal line.
I would watch out for some play action here. Jonesboro looking to the sidelines for the call. Got to think they might be switching it up. Of course, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Well, they're not fixing it. But Thomas does bounce it outside, and he has an easy path for the score. So Bears unable to contain the outside. I know that is one of the things they really wanted to be able to do on defense this year, was to be able to stretch those plays, and unfortunately, you can't stretch them to if nobody's really there.
Yeah, and Jonesboro did a really good job of their left tackle and tight end out there. Did a really good job sealing the edge to where we had nobody available to.
Yeah, he walked right in
to be out there.
5 for 5 on the extra points for Cisnero. So, about 7.5 left here in the first half. It is now 35-7 in favor of Jones Boogie.
Yeah, well, Sylvan Hills just got to come out and play.
Got to answer.
Yeah, you got to come out and try and find a little bit of confidence.
That defense has got to find something. They have offered no resistance tonight. None. Jonesboro has walked down the field 5 straight drives. Now, granted, you had one drive start about the 20-yard line, so, that is what it is. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't seem like the Bears are offering really any kind of consistent resistance to anything.
Well, no, and it seems like when we get a good offensive drive going, we either have a false start or a play call that doesn't work or a holding or something that sets us back every single time. We got to find a way to avoid that.
Rainey and Thompson back deep for the Bears. May not have to worry about it. And the ball is loose, and Jonesboro falls right on it. And I'm not sure what that first line on the kickoff was looking at. That kick wasn't going deep from the jump, and just nobody looked at the ball. And Jonesboro was the first ones on the ball. And I'm not sure what anybody was looking at there. I can't even apologize for that. I mean, that's football 101. You got to find the ball. And to see the ball go to that angle, it's a sky kick. You got to know. You've got to be aware of that. Gosh. That's inexcusable if you ask me. And I'm just going to call it how we see it up here. That right there encapsulates this season in a nutshell. Just not a lot of attention to detail. Jonesboro, hell, looking like they were about to hit him with a reverse throw. Cam Davis gets about 5 on the play, though. So that's 2 possessions given away by the Bears on the ensuing kickoffs. And Jonesboro going for the whole smash here. Almost a great catch. Some pretty good defense there. I know I've been a little hard on the defense tonight, but that was actually some really good D. I believe that's Braylon McPhee, who was the defender there. So I'll hand out flowers, but I've got a garden ready. 3rd and 5 for the Golden Hurricane as they reset their formation. And just a missed tackle and right up the gut. TJ Brown. And poor tackling rears its head again for the Bears, as it looked like Duckery had him at about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you tackle, especially those shorter guys, you hit them at the shoulders. I mean, a lot of times you're going to keep the legs pumping. They're going to be strong. You can't tackle guys high.
Yeah, and right now this Jonesboro offensive line is having its way with the kind of 3-3-3-4 look that we're in. I mean, the D tackles are getting ate up, or the D tackle, nose guard's getting ate up, and the guards are just going straight second level. We have nobody there to do anything. And then when we do have somebody there, they can't make a tackle, or miss the tackle.
And I'm not sure why there's no second-level resistance. And I don't know if it's a position game. I mean, what are you seeing, Chris? Is it guys are out of position, or are they over pursuing in some form or fashion? Because that's about 3 or 4 right up the middle. And it's one thing to break through the initial, that's going to happen from time. We've even seen Sylvan Hills do that, where you break through that initial line and you've got a little extra room. But everybody else seems to have people there ready for a tackle at maybe 7 to 10 yards, whereas the Bears just seem to want to get caught up watching a guy run.
Well,
and I just don't get it. Help me understand.
And the difference in last week and this week. So last week, the linebackers, like I said, did a great job of getting off blocks, scraping, getting, filling the holes, making tackles. This week, they're just not able to. Jonesboro's offensive line, shout out to them, has been doing amazing. See if we get this.
There you go. So somebody caught the ball this time. Shout out Jackson Walker.
But this week, we're the offensive line from Jonesboro, credit to them, is doing amazing.
And we've got a man down, and fortunately it's for the Bears, but, looked like they were calling somebody for Walker, but he popped up on his own accord. Walking a little gingerly off the field. Can't tell if maybe he rolled something. He's grabbing the back of his leg, so could be a hamstring thing. Hopefully it's just a cramp. Again, it is a little warmer at this time of year. Bears will start at their own 39. Shout out to the chat if you're still with us. 2-2. Man in motion for the Bears. Quick throw out to the and just cannot execute tonight. That was Brian Buchanan. Oh, and they're calling that a fumble. They are calling that a fumble. And it was picked up by KJ Anderson. I'm not seeing a call one way or the other. I haven't seen anybody signal touchdown. The officials are going to get together and confer on this one, but Jonesboro sending out their extra point team. Sylvan Hills is sending out their defense. I don't know if we've got a replay on that or if we've got the angle to really tell.
Yeah,
they are going to call it an incomplete pass, so the Bears sort of catch a break at this point. I mean, every little bit helps, but to me that looked like it was forward ever so slightly. I mean, I know his arm angle kind of maybe didn't allow for it, and also, too, he did kind of throw it behind Buchanan, so you put those two things together, I mean, optically, yeah, it looks like a backwards pass, but that's why he played through the whistle, I guess. Couldn't tell if there was one blown. Had the officials confused, and, good on the officials for coming together, talking it out. Ball is ruled incomplete. Empty backfield for the Bears. 3 receivers to the right. Got the H-back to the right as well. 1 man to the left. High snap for Hampton. He handles it cleanly, though. Throws an absolute dart. I believe that was Nigel Casey. So about an 9-yard gain now. So 3rd and 1 for the Bears. And it looks like they are going empty backfield once again. Got to think the QB run is going to be in play here. Just get yourself another set of downs. And Hampton didn't even hesitate. And he gets first down yardage. Just hang on to the ball at this point.
Yeah.
And give me a fresh set on the Jonesboro side of the field.
Nice little positive commentator jinx there.
There you go. Yeah, move them chains. Come on now, fellas. Yeah, you can't jinx this team any worse than what it is right now. Empty backfield once again for the Bears. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. We'll see if they get some shenanigans going. Clean snap for the Bears. Hampton rolling to his right. Finds a man, I do believe. That is Tyler Blakely. Looked real sure-handed on that one. And the Bears may have found something as they've hit on a play like that a few times now. Kind of that, I don't even know what you want to call that. Maybe a kind of a 5 and out or a guy dragging across the field. I know we've been calling for drag routes all year.
Yeah.
Hampton just tucking and going, and we've got a flag down. And that one was pretty quick, so I'm going to assume that's a holding call. And that appears to be what the signal is. As we get the official signal here. My man just keeps on walking. And, yeah, the call is holding for the Bears, so back him up 10.
So it's another case of a good drive and then a penalty.
Yeah, so we'll see if the Bears can bounce back on this one. You basically got 3 downs to get 12 yards. We'll see if they can do it. Bears going empty here. That will be recorded as a pass. Great move.
Yeah.
By Cabrian Buchanan. Looks like he was going to lose about 4 yards on the play. Ends up gaining a handful. So a little more manageable for the Bears. What are they going to call that? 3rd and 5?
Yeah, that's probably the best response I've seen coming out of a penalty from the Bears this game.
Yeah, all year, heck. But they do know that they don't have to get it all on one play, and that's good here. Hampton with the quick throw. What a grab. The sure-handed catch by Ryan Parham. How about it?
Yeah.
And again, let me go to the garden here, hand the flowers out. I know we've been hard on these receivers this year. Rightfully so many times, but tip your hat there. Ryan Parham, big-time snag. And a quick, decisive throw by Hampton. So the Bears got something going. Good protection. And that is in. Give him the catch. And they found something on that flag route going to the right side.
Yeah,
or kind of a reverse post, or whatever you want to kind of want to call it. That one a little deeper than what we've seen.
I was going to say it a little earlier. I think that the pass game is there if they can give Hampton just a little bit of time.
It also helps a little better when you roll with the hand of your quarterback.
Yeah.
So the quick reverse, showing some patience. Ooh, hit hard. That's E.J. Duckery. And we're going to say about 5 on that one as well. So the Bears now inside the Boyd Law Firm red zone as they've got 2nd and 5 from the 12. Just under 4 minutes left here in the first half. Hampton calling his own number, trying to find a little space. Couldn't find much. Did get enough for about 2 or 3 yards. Looks like he gets to about the 10-yard line, so gain of 2. It is now 3rd and 3. So you don't necessarily have to get the touchdown at this point. You'd like to get the first down, maybe bleed the clock out a little. Bears going empty backfield. We do have a flag on the play now. Looks like offsides is the initial call, and that is going to be first down yardage for the Bears. Give it to them, 1st and goal. And that is the call.
All right.
So 5 yards later, Bears down to about the 5-yard line, 1st and goal. Empty backfield down there in the trenches. We'll see if it works out for the Bears. I'm thinking Hampton might call one right up the gut if he can just find a little something here. Oh, and he is on the run. And he has a little time. Tipped. Almost. Caught. They do say it hit the ground. Barely on that play. But the Bears survive it, and it'll be 2nd and goal from the 5. Bears got something cooking on this drive. We'll see if the positive mojo can put them into the end zone. 2:48 left here in the first half. Jay Burr, Chris Goodman with you here on the Sylvan Hills Sports Network, part of the Natural State Sports Network. Offset shotgun for the Bears. 3 receivers to the right. And the quick slant. Oh, Blakely. And it looks like we're going to get a pass interference there, and that's in the end zone. So that will be spotted at the 2-yard line if that is the case. And that does seem to be the call. Pass interference against Jonesboro. That'll cost them 3. But, most important thing, Sylvan Hills with a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, it's big right here.
That is huge. And that was a quick look. I've been waiting for that all year where Sylvan Hills maybe overloads one side and they go one-on-one on the other side. Give them a quick slant. I mean, give the people what they want. Clock is ticking. Bears looking like they might have to burn a timeout. And that is the case. So 2:45 left here in the first half. Bears take their 2nd timeout. 1st and goal from the 3.
Yeah, and with this fresh set of downs, if you're able to run a little bit more time off the clock and get a touchdown, I believe we get the ball to start the second half. So if we can come out here and get some points and then hold Jonesboro and then get the ball second half, I mean, we could knock this thing right back down to 21, which, is awful to even say. But
that would be a victory for this team in and of itself. I mean, the fact that if they put it in the end zone right here, I think that's their season high. Well, no, I take it back. There was Russellville. But outside of Russellville, the points have been at a premium. So this would be one of their higher outputs of the season, which kind of tells you everything you need to know about how it's been going for the offense. Bears at the 3-yard line. Oh, they look like they got the jumbo package in there. At least take that for what it's worth, at least out here at Sylvan Hills. That looks like that is Zayden Woodard in the fullback position. I'd watch for him. Riley Jablinowski at the running back position. Jablo gets the ball. He keeps him churning. Oh, man, that is a tough kid to bring down. He gets a yard maybe on the play. Yeah, give him a yard on that. So let's line it up. Let's do it again. Why not? Or, hey, give it to Woodard. I don't know if that would technically be a big man touchdown if you're 5'8", 215. Hampton calling his own number. Can't quite fall forward enough. Oh, he's spotted at the 1. So it is 4th down now. Under 2 minutes in the first half. Bears not even thinking about a field goal at this point, which, hey, you really don't need those. We'll see what they dial up here. Maybe a little play action, maybe just some mano-y-mano. Woodard gets it. All right. How about it there? Give it to the fullback. Everybody loves a fullback touchdown. Zayden Woodard, give me all 6 of these.
Yeah, you love to see it, and they ran some time off the clock, so a couple of good things going there. Now they got to come out on defense and get a stop, or maybe, if you can do an onside kick here, maybe steal a possession right here before half. If you think your defense can get a stop, I would go that route. But
how about it, though? Something. Goal line setup, hats on hats.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Silver Hills do a lot of that just because of, they're obviously undersized on the offensive line. But able to give up enough for get enough push for 3 plays. Now, granted, they did it the hard way, 1 yard at a time, but
yeah. I mean, it definitely puts some confidence back into the offensive line and to the offense as a whole.
We do have a flag on the play. Not sure what for. We got the official. Are they waving that off, or officials are going over to explain it to Coach Houle?
Pull up the stream, see if I can see anything.
Not sure what it would have even been. It didn't look like the teams were even set to kick the extra point, unless it was some extracurricular.
Well, it looks like, from what I just saw, it looks like there may have been a player on Jonesboro that was exchanging words with a referee. and
yeah, so an unsportsmanlike handed out.
Yeah.
And they got 2 of them.
I think
so. I don't know if those will, and maybe the situation was, hey, those are going to be assessed on the kickoff. Which, heck, if you get 30 yards, heck, why not onside kick it at that point? Heck, You're kicking from the opponent's 40.
Yep, he exchanged the wrong recipe with someone, and they didn't like it.
It's down through and true. So Bears get their second touchdown of the night. Excuse me. And with a buck and a half left here in the first half. 42-14 is now the score. And we'll see where the kickoff's from. It didn't look like anything was declined. So, like I said, I mean, heck, if you're going to be kicking off from roughly the 40-yard line, because if that was 2 of them handed out, it should be like 30 yards in penalties. I mean, heck, you're talking about darn near the 35. But we'll see where they finally spot it at. And that's if they give him any of the yards at all. Not sure what we got going here. I thought that would have been assessed here.
Yeah, it looks like
and it does look like the coaching staff is pointing that out, like, hey, move it up. Yeah, keep on keeping on. Yeah, they got 2 of them things. Yeah, 2 15-yard penalties. I mean, they are kicking off from the 30-yard line. Onside it at this point. Heck, you're going to put him inside the 20 on an onside kick. Why the heck not? This is one of the darndest things I've ever seen. If anything, it's not boring out here at Sylvan Hills. So how are we feeling, chat? I know it's been kind of, one of those I'm straight up not having a good time right now, but, 14 points is kind of nice. Now the 42, maybe not so nice, but, we've seen some good things on the offensive side of the ball here the past couple drives, especially because there's been 2 touchdowns. Now, I'd like to see the defense do something here. We'll see what happens here. Definitely going for the onside. Oh, it pops up. I think that's touched. I think someone else is going to have it. Give it to him. Oh, they caught a break. How about it? I'm really not sure what Jonesboro was thinking there. That one wasn't even close to going 10 yards. It still had a whole nother bounce. I think my man saw a lot of green and got greedy over there. And it kind of misfired on him.
That's what you need right there.
So how about it? How about it?
Steal a possession and try and go get some points. Finally
stole one back on Jonesboro after giving away 2 possessions, and I say that fully as they gave them away.
So now you get some points here, then you get some points on the beginning of the second half.
If they could somehow score here,
yeah,
and then, like you said, score on the next drive, you got to be putting a little fear into Jonesboro.
Yeah,
now, obviously, the defense has got to do their part.
Yeah.
But right now, the offense needs to do theirs. You got to come away with some points here, preferably a touchdown. But if you can bleed the clock out maybe a little bit in the process, that would be the most ideal. I personally would like 6 on the first play. And he throws a pick, and it's 6 going the other way, possibly. Oh, that went from bad to worse, and oh my gosh. Well, I was half right. Marquise Stafford jumps the route, and it goes 6 the other way. Now we've got a flag on the play here. I'm not sure if this is going to be after the touchdown, before the touchdown, if Jonesboro is going to have to march it back or what. But you've got to be kidding.
Yeah, the linebacker
just as soon as something good happened for the Bears, that happened. If it stands here, that's got to be about a 90-yard pick 6. As he jumped the quick route. Not sure what the discussion here is. It could be another one of those, hey, this happened after the play, so we're going to assess it on the kickoff type of thing.
Yeah, it's going to be 80 on that pick 6 there.
80 on the pick 6. All right, so we've got a dead ball, personal foul, unsportsmanlike, and that one will go against Sylvan Hills. You've got to be kidding me. My gosh. I teed that one up, though. Chat, that's my fault. That is absolutely my fault, chat. I said I wanted 6 on the first play. It's not exactly what I meant.
You didn't specify.
I did not specify, and that one is down through true. And all the good vibes have now been sucked out of Bill Blackwood Field as Jonesboro now up 49-14 and just what do you even say at this point? This is the most snake-bitten team in the state. If you could show me anybody more snake-bitten, I am willing to take all offers.
Yeah,
that.
You just got to get out of your own way sometimes, and that can be hard, especially with a young team. And this is what happens sometimes.
And it looked like Hampton just dialed in on a receiver right from the jump.
Yeah, it was a great play by the linebacker there. He read the route perfectly.
Oh, caught it in stride,
yeah.
And Hampton almost made a heck of a play to save the touchdown, but again, tackling high. Now, of course, you don't expect much from your quarterback, mind you. So take that for what it's worth. But, kind of did a little two-step with him more than actually possibly bringing him down.
Yeah, and it looked like he may have hurt his arm a little bit too. He kind of was holding it after he tried to make that tackle, so that's definitely not what you want.
Yeah, probably not in this situation. Do I want my quarterback trying to make a tackle? But you got to respect the hustle. But I'd probably say, and that's a live ball. And it gets out of bounds. Nobody really recovering it. So the struggles on the special teams continue for the Bears, even after the great play over here.
And we got really lucky there.
Very fortunate. They almost had another one.
Jonesboro had the ball, but they
had a beat on it. They couldn't quite corral the ball either. And luckily, they just kind of ran out of real estate. 1:15 left here in the first half. I mean, at this point, what do you do at this point? I don't even know. So the Bears going empty backfield. We'll see if they can hit a quick strike as the first half winds down. Hampton rolling to his right. Good throw there. Little pitch and catch with Cabrian Buchanan. Looks to be about a 10-yard gain, maybe just a tad more than that, but that's first down yardage. So again, that rolling to the right play, and it's either a little bit of a drag, and with Cabrian Buchanan, I think that's more of an out route, just because he's on the side of the field that Hampton is flowing to. Yeah, move those sticks. Come on, here we go, fellas. First and 10, Bears at the 36. 1:12 left. Empty backfield. Man in motion. That's going to be the fake. And Hampton looked like he was going to go outside, then cuts it back inward into the white and gold wall that is that Jonesboro defensive front.
Yeah, I mean, they...
Chris Goodman, a loss of words here right now. Just not much you can say. That's the play they were trying to hit earlier, and thankfully, Stafford wasn't there for that one.
Yeah. That play, the little kind of seam route play and the rollout play have both worked really well tonight.
Oh, in and out of the hands of Lacoby Brent. But that ball was thrown a little short, and he did have the effort laying out. Probably worked out for the Bears if they're trying to punch one in the end zone. 26.9 left on the clock. So if you're the Bears, I mean, geez, at this point, just take a couple shots down the field. Jonesboro only with one man back. I mean, back is what I mean. But they're falling back into some cover 4, and we've got a helmet down, so I'm not sure whose helmet that was. And it looks like 65. And as Aiden Ricks is hot. Probably thought that was a little bit of hands to the face. He'll have to come out for one play. And it's 3rd and 10 for the Bears. Once again, empty backfield for the Bears. And I don't know if we got movement or, that movement is the indication. So that'll back up the Bears 5 more yards. 21 seconds left in the first half. So you got to like, by and large, well, maybe not by and large, but you got to like some of the things you're seeing from the offense tonight. I mean, obviously nobody likes a pick six, but much like you said, Chris, that just looked like it was a great play by the defense.
Yeah. I mean, every game they show signs of being so good, and then this happens.
And Hampton just holds on to the ball just a hair too long. Maybe should have just got rid of it at that point, but you can't fault him for trying to make a play here, and the Bears will take it into halftime. At that point, Clock's finally hit 0. And again, we will be back for the second half. Stick around with us here. We'll have some halftime stats. We're going to take a little bit of a break here. But again, we'll have some halftime stats, get you ready for what will be a quick second half. As the score currently, the Golden Hurricane of Jonesboro, mind you, they were also 1-6 coming into this week, 49. And the Sylvan Hills Bears, 14. Stay with us. Second half coming up.
Properly graded field is not only important for player safety but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
And welcome back in. Getting you ready for the second half here. Sylvan Hills hosting the Golden Hurricane of Jonesboro. 49-14 your score. Unfortunately, the Bears on the wrong side of that one. Let's take a look around the state here. We'll pass along a few scores for you before we get to some of the stats in this one. Bryant leading Cabot 35-3. So if you thought it was bad here, it could be worse. Conway over PA 19-0. Fayetteville leading Springdale 21-7. Mountain home. Man, the Bombers not too shabby this year. This is probably the best I've ever seen out of this team. They're up 16-0 on Lake Hamilton. Greenwood pounding Van Buren 42-7. Robinson doing the same to Searcy 42-0. Brookland over Batesville 21-7. Wynn and Paragould going at it 14-0. Camden Fairview leading Hope 40-0. Valonia Harrison tied at 7. Greenbrier P Ridge and a tight one 9-7 in P Ridge's favor. And that is through some of the 5A. That was 6, 7, and 5A conferences there for you. Some stats to get to in this one. Boy, it's gonna It's going to make you mad. Sylvan Hills actually have more first downs than Jonesboro in this one. 13-10 advantage. The rushing yardage advantage, though, going definitely in the Golden Hurricanes' favor. They have 180 rushing yards to Sylvan Hills' 86. But only 4 receptions for 57 yards for Jonesboro. 10 catches for 121 yards for the Bears. Third down conversions, 3 for 4 is Jonesboro, 4 for 11 are the Bears. But the Bears also 3 for 6 on their fourth down conversions. So how about that? And they've actually had the time of possession advantage, about 15.5 to Jonesboro, just under 14. So, the stats are kind of all over the map here. Now, granted, Jonesboro has had a few situations where they were had some short fields to go to. Obviously, they started that one drive at the 20-yard line. A couple of those other, I don't want to say recovered onside kicks, but recovered offensive kicks where they're inside the 40-yard line. So that kind of plays into it a little bit there. So there you go. The scoring summary in this one, Jonesboro rushed out to a 28-0 lead in the first quarter before Sylvan Hills finally struck with a Lacoby Brent 28-yard reception, which made it 28-7. Jonesboro then scoring 2 consecutive touchdowns before the big fella Zayden Woodard popped another one in there for the Bears, 42-14, and then we saw that pick 6 go for what is officially 77 yards. That gives us our current score of 49-14. So Jonesboro has scored on every single one of their drives and then won with the defensive touchdown. So not much really to say here for the Bears. Tough scene. With the score being what it is, we will have the running clock once we get this thing going. And, so this one ought to be pretty quick into the books, unfortunately for the Bears. And it does look like any sort of, kind of, maybe hope for the playoffs is now fading fast. They will still have 2 more games after this, so you never say never, but between the last couple of performances I've seen, I'll probably say never, as they will still have to travel to Sheridan, and then they will host Little Rock Catholic to round out the season.
Yeah, and Sheridan's a team that, you kind of watch Overtime's doing that thing where they follow Coach Kelly. That's a team that's really kind of figuring it out here late in the season. I think they need 1 game to make the playoffs, and that's a dangerous team to go up, a dangerous coach, and a dangerous team to go up against is a team that's finding their stride. So
yeah, definitely, and it's top 6 will make the playoffs out of 8. So unfortunately for the Bears, they're going to be in quite a bit of a hole that they're going to be trying to dig out of potentially. So again, we'll keep passing some scores along of interest as we get them, especially here in the 6A. I don't see anything from the 6A East. We'll also give you an update on the other schools within the network once we do get those. So Bears set to receive to start the half. Guys are back deep, but it doesn't seem to matter. We're going to go with the short kick here. It looked like it's... Well, it kind of went out of bounds. Marcus Hurd kind of knocks it out of bounds.
Yeah, that was...
so that does not count as the flag where you can start at the 35. Of course, they're only at the 32, so what's 3 yards at this point? So clock yet to start. He did touch the ball, so I'm not sure why it hasn't started. But, again, what do I know? I'm just a guy standing up in a press box talking about football. So we'll see what the Bears do offensively. It looks like they're going to pick up right where they left off. Just empty backfield. What the heck? Sling it Brian Buchanan, double reverse. That's Joseph Thompson. He's got a little room to run. Oh, and he slips. We've got a flag on the play. Not sure what that might have been. I don't know if they're going to get him for a hold. Maybe a block in the back. I couldn't tell. It's looking like it's going to be against the Bears, though. We'll see what the official call here is. And it is holding against the Bears.
Yeah, and we have a lot of those on those outside runs. Bears going to shoot themselves in the foot early here in this quarter.
Yep. Unfortunately. But the Bears actually kind of net yardage out of that deal just because it did happen beyond the sticks. So kind of a gain of 5. 1st and 5. So it's almost like an offsides penalty, so why not? And, oh, man, Tyler Hampton finds Lacoby Brand just all by himself. Unfortunately, couldn't hit him in stride, but he was on the run. Great throw, actually. And again, we've said it there towards the end of the first half that there's something going on with those deep outs and flag routes on that right side, and Sylvan Hills is taking advantage, and unfortunately, we've got a flag on the field. So much like last week where there's not a lot happening with the penalties, all of a sudden, there's a lot of holding calls.
Yeah, it's kind
of... Again, not sure where they may have got him on that. I, for one, didn't see anything. And it looks like it was only about a 5-yard penalty, so not sure how you get holding 10 yards beyond. So we've had 2 plays, and it's still first down and no gain. Because, of course, quick throw into the flats. I believe that is, I think that's Ryan Parham. It is Ryan Parham. He dances around for about 6 yards. Brings up 2nd and 5. So we're finally off and moving here in the second half. Tyler Hampton takes it himself, gets out of bounds. Looks to be about a 4.5-yard gain. So it'll be 3rd and short.
41-yard line, which will bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Bears.
Oh, and I'm guessing he got there just in the nick of time. We're calling pretty cheap holdings. Not sure why we didn't get a cheap pass interference there by J.R. Smith. But again, I'm just a guy in a press box. So, we got that going for us. 4th and short, Bears not even hesitating. And really, at this point, why not? Jonesboro looking like they're bringing the house. Quick throw out into the flats, and, the whole stop and go by Nigel Casey. Or, excuse me, that was Brian Buchanan.
Yeah, I got real nervous when I saw him do that.
I heard the sigh. I heard the frustration for a moment ready to come out, and then, okay.
Oh, I was like, oh, no, don't
nice
go backwards.
Nice little move. Yeah, you don't like to see it go backwards, but it did net the positive. We've got a flag on the play. I'm not sure if people weren't set. Maybe offside. Nope, looks like it's going to go against the Bears. Oh, an illegal substitution. I take it back. It is going to be on Jones Boogie. So Bears get a free 5.
Yeah, I hate it's a running clock because this drive they're putting together so far something really nice here.
So far, so good anyways. Jonesboro looking like they're showing pressure. And here they come. Quick throw out into the flats for Tyler Blakely. Probably should have got a few more yards in my opinion, but again, what do I know? My man's over here not giving any kind of forward progress.
Give him 1 yard.
Maybe 1 yard, but that's where he sort of ended up. Thought he maybe should have got 2 more, but again, that's neither here nor there at this point. Three to the right. Hampton throwing the screen to the other side. And hot day, we've got a screen that finally came to fruition. Buchanan dancing his way around. Gets it just inside the Boyd Law Firm red zone, and that's a big-time play. And again, I know that's something we commented on last week. The screen pass just hasn't been able to develop or work or whatever. Worked pretty good that time. Tyler Hampton running for it. He just throws one up, and that's a dangerous throw. But it falls incomplete. So going back to that screenplay, man, that was finally well executed. Even had blockers going downfield. I mean, it's one thing for a guy to just catch back there and just make a play, but he had a little bit of a convoy.
Yeah, had a guy roll the quarterback out and then throw it back the other way.
Dangerous living for the Bears. I know that, like I said, that's not a play that's worked for them a lot this past year. We did have an update, though, on 44 Caleb Harrison. You notice he hasn't been out there today. He is out of this game. My man's sick. We wish you nothing but the best out there. Some of the staff was telling me at halftime he's probably lost about 20 pounds over the course of about a week and a half. So my man's can't keep anything down. So, again, we wish a speedy recovery for Caleb Harrison. He's listed at 6'2", 200. You know, he put that into account, and he's 6'2", 180 all of a sudden. Man's is down bad.
Yeah.
But again, we hope he bounces back in a big way. Just get ready for baseball season. Oh!
Was that?
Almost caught by E.J. Duckery.
Oh.
Falls incomplete.
I saw the 30. I thought it was 20. I thought Carey had made his way into the game.
Like, where did this guy come from? But much to our chagrin, Jeremiah Carey not in tonight. Colin Billings, another one of those guys, not in tonight. Who else are we missing here? Brady Hester, not in tonight. Just a litany of injuries and illness that has swept through this team. So the Bears just playing the cards that they're dealt. 4th and 5 from the 15 for the Bears. Just under 4 minutes left in the third quarter. And Tyler Hampton going for it all, and there's the pass interference. It took him a second. Didn't know if he was going to have the gumption to call it, but you got to call that one. As he kind of just never made a play on the ball. I was thinking he was going to let it slide. But that is going to be pass interference on the defense. Fresh set of downs. And with them being at the 15, they're going to go half the distance with it. And I believe that's going to set them up about the 8-yard line. So the 7 is where they will place it. 1st and goal for the Bears.
And Sylvan Hill's a couple plays away from having the ball the entire third quarter.
Well, the clock's just a run. Oh, that was a nifty little handoff there. Still churning. Gets it inside the 5. I think they're going to mark it at about the 3-yard line. Brian Buchanan has been a welcomed addition to this offense, as he has been a spark this evening. Despite some of the struggles that the offense has had, they've actually not looked incredibly poor for most of this game. I mean, I know we got the pick 6, and early on they were trying to find a little rhythm and just couldn't find it. Bears knocking on the door. Jablinowski falls forward as he took on roughly 3 or 4 Golden Hurricanes. And he gets to about the 2-yard line, so 3rd and 2 from the 2.
Yeah, I like to see Jablo run the ball. It's kind of a little wrecking ball. Just hand it to him, let him go lay somebody out.
Absolutely. Oh, he's almost fell forward there, so maybe about a half-yard on that one. They'll give it to him. 4th and goal. just inside the 2. Well, maybe right on the 2. Hard to tell from this angle we're at. Yeah, so about the 2-yard line. Come on now, got to punch this one in. Why not? And we're going to have a timeout here as the Bears will chat this one over. Clock does stop on the timeout, so in this situation, clock will stop on timeouts and injury timeouts. So we've got 1:20 left here in the third quarter, and if it feels like it's gone by fast, well, that's because it has. When the clock is running, it is running. Oh, come on, Juwan. Jablinowski's out here putting it in. He's a little fella with a big heart, throwing his weight around, all 187 pounds. Especially on that defensive side. Now, I'd hardly say that's weak. It's just, those guys are big on that side. So we'll see what Sylvan Hills calls up here. I mean, at this point, let's throw a little play action in there. Maybe a little trickery down here at the goal line. I mean, the game is obviously going to go in as an L with the clock running. So let's dig deep in the bag. Maybe get to the back page of the playbook. 1:20 left, 49-14. Jay Berg, Chris Goodman with you here on the Sylvan Hills Sports Network. We appreciate the chat hanging around with us here as Sylvan Hills hosts Jonesboro. Oh, there it is. There's that fake. He's got a man wide. Well, I don't say wide open. And he caught it. He caught it. How about it? And that is Ryan Parham. Get him all 6 of these. Oh, what did I tell you, Chris? Give me some play action. Give me some rollout.
Yeah.
Good route. Good catch. Had plenty of time. Had plenty of space. I mean, that was a good play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's twice tonight. You've called for points, and it's happened. Now, one went the other way.
I'm 1 for 2, I guess.
Yeah, one went the other way, but that's twice.
Got to break out the crystal ball more often here, I guess. So, Sylvan Hills going for 2, and, take a number 2 on that attempt, as they do not get the attempt. Chris Goodman losing his mind over here. So, the score will now be 49-20. As we are likely going to run out the third quarter here at Sherwood. So, with that, we're actually going to take a quick break. And when we come back on the other side, we are going to bring you the final quarter of action here. Again, Jonesboro leading the Bears 49-20 at the end of 3. Stay with us. Jay Burr, Chris Goodman with you on the Sylvan Hills Sports Network.
I would say school choice is a great option. You can do your research like we did, visit with other parents that have children in the district. We visited the schools before we made the choice to come here. We chose to school choice because we have had such a great experience here. Teachers, staff have been so helpful and reassuring, and we've been forever grateful for it. And I'd do it all over again. PCSSD is a great option no matter where you live.
Back with you here. Time of possession is leaning heavily in favor of the Bears as they had it for the entirety of the third quarter. Unfortunately, the clock was running. Bears with the onside kick, and oh, dear me. You got to be kidding me. Sam King. What an effort by Joseph Thompson, but, man, it has been that kind of day. I don't even think King realized he had it. And he took off. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there was ever a play to to kind of signify what this year's been like, it's that.
That's definitely one of them that's going to go in the low light reel. So Jonesboro inside the 4. We'll see if the Bears defense can offer up anything here, any signs of life. Jonesboro still trotting their starters out, so a little surprised at that. And it looks like King falls forward, so they let him finish the job. And 1 shot, 1 kill for the Jonesboro offense there as they now go up 55-20. Well, so again, one stat that the Bears are going to be dominant in this one is going to be the time of possession. So again, if we're looking for a silver lining, well, there it is.
Well, the Razorbacks are doing good in their exhibition, if anybody cared. Up 42 to
Well, it looks like we're going to have a roughing the kicker, and the kick is missed.
Huh.
And he is down. And the clock is still rolling. Not sure why, since the training staffs are on the field. Yeah, the clock should stop on an injury, but I don't think they've actually signaled it yet, hence why it's just ticking away. Now we've got it stopped. Cicero still down, and they are calling for some extra assistance over there. And now he pops up, so good to see that. He's walking off on his own power. Not sure what. I mean, it looks like he's holding the midsection, but it might be the arm that got him. Jonesboro gets another crack at it. They look like they're going to line up and go for 2 this time. So the clock will restart upon the play here, and then it will continue to roll. 55-20, 9:44 left in the contest. Now it looks like Jonesboro's got some different personnel in. That's Taylor Heineman at quarterback. He turns and gives it to 24, who was just out for a light jog. DeMarcus Thomas just literally walks into the end zone. I don't even think he got to 50%, just to be completely honest. I mean, he had a convoy over there all the time in the world. So 57-20 now. And this thing is ticking away with now just under 9:15 left. Well, feel free to chime in, Chris, because
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you're Jonesboro, you're looking at this game saying, why where were some of these points in other games?
Well, don't worry. Sylvan Hills hands out points at a premium. Well, we'll see what the personnel will look like, not only for the Bears. I imagine their personnel may not change a lot since, heck, they're already playing a lot of sophomores. And we know we've heard Coach Houle say in the past, it's like, well, who am I going to replace sophomores with? Clean catch for the Bears, E.J. Duckery. And he returns it to roughly the 36. And we've got some fisticuffs flying. Zayden Woodard, not normally one of those guys mixing up. Looks like he was trying to get in the mix with Jabari Prince. We do have a flag on the play. Not sure if they're going to give it to both of them or one of them. And both of them are going to get popped for it. Those are going to offset. Net gain of 0. But both of them do have an unsportsmanlike under their belt, so if they do get another one in the contest, albeit in under 8 minutes left, well, you get the gate. And then you have to sit your whole next game, which, at this point, Sylvan Hills can't afford to do because of the injuries and the illnesses and all those kinds of things. Tyler Hampton still in at quarterback, and he is dialing it up himself. Finds a little bit of space, and he's got some room to run. Can he outrun him? No, not quite. Caught from the back by Jermaine Owens, and, man, where's this been?
Yeah, I think that's the fastest I've seen him run all season. I mean, he took off there.
Yeah, he's usually running for his life, running for a score that time. Big-time gain, gets it inside the Boyd Law Firm red zone. Tyler Hampton dropping back. He ain't got no time, but he's going to find some time, pointing out, trying to guide him, and smartly throws it away. Once again, where has this Tyler Hampton been? Nigel Casey was the only guy in the neighborhood there. But again, that one was just thrown away to avoid any kind of negative yardage. Good play by your quarterback. Okay, ref, I see you. That wasn't a terrible throw. He went overarm. Usually the refs kind of have that good underarm vibe with it. E.J. Duckery, just couldn't get through those defenders. Gets a first down on the play, so it'll be 1st and 5 from the 5. Bears with just over 6 minutes left in this affair to try to punch it in. Hampton calls his own number. He's got some room, and he is in for the touchdown. No flags at all. Tyler Hampton, give me all 6 of these. So how about it now? Unfortunately for the Bears, they couldn't do this in the first half, find that mojo. They're now 2 for 2 on their offensive possessions in the second half.
Yeah, it's good to see that they're still fighting out there. Offensive line still blocking good.
Honestly, probably been one of the better games by the offensive line. Oh, good defense actually there by Jermaine Owens, as that was intended for Lacoby Brent. So the 2-point conversion falls, and it is now a 57-26 score. 5 minutes and counting left for this one. But again, Bears have looked pretty good. Unfortunately for the defense on the Bears, they're throwing a perfect game right now. They have yet to stop the Golden Hurricane. The Jones Boogie has scored on every single one of their drives, and not just necessarily holding field goals. That would be a massive success at any point, but they have put it in the end zone every single drive.
Yeah, and did it on defense and almost did it on special teams too.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Bears got to be careful here.
So the old 4-yard drive for Jonesboro, one of them things. Jonesboro will take over at their own, I believe that's the 42-yard line. And they are taking their time out there, 3:30 and rolling here. And honestly, if I'm the Golden Hurricane, we're just handing this ball off a few times and see what happens. Heineman back for Golden Hurricane. And goodness mercy, is Thomas just carving up the Bears defense. So the Bears have really got to get back to the drawing board on the defensive side. Offensively, they may have found something. Jonesboro taking their time, 2:37 and rolling. I imagine we're going to see Thomas just run the ball maybe 2-3 more times. Oh, and he slips and falls, so credit that tackle to the Bears' 48-yard line, but really give my man Marcus Hurd his due. A little bit of a loss here for Jonesboro. Thomas once again just dancing around. Defensive team meeting at the line of scrimmage. And we've got 1:37 left in this one. And I'd venture to say we've probably got about one more play in us here before this one will be officially official. To be a little bit of a quick start on the offensive line for the Golden Hurricane, but it goes without saying, and really at this point, Thomas once again on the carry. And I think we've got one more play in us before this thing goes final. And I'm not sure if Jonesboro maybe just hand it off, let it happen. Again, clock won't stop on the change of possession, so kind of a moot point there. Giving you an update on the out-of-town scoreboard here. Bryant still up on Cabot Big, 35-3. Little Rock Christian nudging Southwest right now. That game in the fourth quarter, and that will just about do it here as we will go final. And unfortunately for the Bears, they fall once more, 57-26. But just rolling through the scoreboard here, Conway over PA in the third quarter, 19-0. Fayetteville doubling up Springdale, 28-14. Marion up big on Sheridan right now, 36-15. Mountain Home shutting out Lake Hamilton currently, 16-0. Greenwood up on Van Buren, 42-7. So that is your 6A affair right now. A couple of scores that we're missing here, so we'll try to see if we can get those to you. So another tough one for the Bears. You got to feel a little bit better about this one with them scoring 26. Unfortunately, they give up 57 in this one. So again, kind of pick your poison with the warm and fuzzy feelings. Bears now drop to 0-8 on the season. Jonesboro now 2-6 on the year. So they are in prime position now for a playoff spot, possibly, especially with Sheridan losing to Marion right now. So that game is going to loom large for Sheridan next week. Chris, we haven't heard much from you here in the second half. Any kind of final thoughts here?
No, I mean, the Bears.
All right, well, we'll keep it at that. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I mean, the Bears just kind of, I don't know, man. I sat here and I thought a lot. I didn't say a lot, admittedly, and I just kind of thought, what next for the Bears? Because you got Sheridan coming up, and then Catholic, who's playing pretty good this season. You just got to find some way to keep the team together, and two, keep this thing rolling with any kind of momentum. I mean, if you got one wheel on the train that's going forward, something that's keeping the momentum going, and this coaching staff will probably figure it out.
Well, like I said, they did find a little mojo on the offensive side of the ball with those outs to the right side, some of those deep outs. That was something. Tyler Hampton actually had him a decent day rushing, actually over 100 yards rushing. Now, granted, he probably got about 70 on one play, but even take that out of it, we'll just say 60 yards on that play. 40 yards rushing, and, that's not a whole lot, but he's your leading rusher on the day. Had the one touchdown, and unfortunately for him, he had the one interception, which was better than last week where he had 4, but unfortunately for him, that interception goes for a touchdown, albeit the other direction. Just some final stats here. 20 first downs for the Bears, only 12 for Jonesboro. 201 yards rushing for the Golden Hurricane to Sylvan Hills 147, only 57 yards receiving for the Golden Hurricane, but didn't throw the ball whatsoever in the second half. 172 yards receiving for the Bears. 16 catches on the night, so 16 for 30 was Tyler Hampton. So above 50%, which is a lot better than what we've seen. Still some drops out there for the Bears, unfortunately. But they did seem a little more sure-handed as the game did go on, so maybe something that they can build on a little bit. Well, what do you say there, gang? Again, 57-26 is your final score here. Again, Bears not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs just yet, but it is definitely a much taller task than what it was, as they will have a Sheridan team that they are going to go visit, who is going to be probably really ticked off, and they are going to be fighting for a playoff spot of their own. Again, only 6 out of the 8 teams are going to make the playoffs here in the 6A classification. And 2 of them got to get left home. And right now, Sylvan Hills on the outside looking in, also Sheridan on the outside looking in, as we're just going to say it's a loss for them tonight against Marion. So they're going to have quite a bit to fight for come next week. Bears, again, also have a lot to fight for. Not mathematically eliminated, but, again, it is going to be a tall task. Oh, well, I guess we'll put a bow on this. We'll wrap up our coverage here at Bill Blackwood Field. Jay Burr, Chris Goodman with you here. We certainly do appreciate you, chat, for joining us tonight here on the Sylvan Hills Sports Network. Once again, the final out here in Sherwood. The Jonesboro Golden Hurricane spoiling the night for the Sylvan Hills Bears by a final score of 57-26. We'll see you next week down in Sheridan. Pregame starts at 6:30. We sure do hope that you'll join us for that one. We try to make it entertaining at the very least. But we'll hope that the Bears can pull out maybe their first win of the year, first win of the J.J. Houle era. Bears are 0-8 on the season. And that's about all there is to say about that. Good night, everybody, from Bill Blackwood Field. We'll see you next week.